Alright, we start leg 3 of our beer and bush trip adventure through southeastern France from Bordeaux to Megève. So we ended up in, oh shoot, where did we end up last night? Mont. So we landed in Mont just barely. And it's another short trip today, I think. I think this one's about... Oop, my throat is back. Yep. Yep, I think we have another short leg this evening, a little longer than last night. Let's make sure we're on the right heading this time. So last time on beer and bush trips, we took off and flew in the completely wrong direction. We're going to try to avoid that, if all possible. Let's check our flight plan. Yeah, so we're starting off at airport in Mont, which was it LFC, right? Yeah. Okay. I don't know how this flight plan gets so screwed up. Wait, why am I turning? What's going on here? My parking brake's not set. Oof, okay. Off to a great start, huh? Alright. I don't know why it keeps starting me on the wrong, the wrong leg. Okay. So we're departing from LFCZ. Crap. Departing from LFCZ, and we want to hit direct to. Boom. Activate. Okay. Alright. And first bit of our navlog here. From Mont Airport, take off directly west and head for the Atlantic coast. Look for the mouth of Coron de Contis and the town of Contis Plage. So we're in Mont. Got some pretty gnarly looking clouds off to the north here. So we're going to try to steer clear of that. It's good. We're going to head west. So we're going to take off and, you know, make a 180. Let's get our CDI going on the GPS. Cool. Get our flight plan up. Got full fuel again. We're looking good. Track 244. Interesting. Okay. Alright, let's see what happens. Can't be worse than last time, I think. Let's try to get straightened out a little bit here. Boy, I'll tell you, like, I'm still kind of getting a feel for this plane. Alright. Off we go. Flaps are set. Looks good. I think we're going to make it into the air. It's always a good start. Alright, rotate. Let's clear the runway, flaps up. And I'd like to turn to our south because, like, I really don't want to be heading through those clouds there. Let's aim for, 2,000 feet again. I haven't seen mountains at all yet, so I really don't feel like we need to start thinking about climbing, getting a lot of altitude anytime soon here. So yeah, last night we flew through some restricted airspace on accident. We flew in the completely wrong direction. It's a navigational error on my part. And we still made it to Mont. Now, I'm taking about, I think I saw this was, I don't know, like a 40-ish nautical mile trip here to Biarritz Pays Basque Airport. was Bayonne Airport. Alright. So I think we're doing good. I think we're pointed in the right direction, man. Take off, head directly west for the Atlantic coast, for the mouth of the Coronte Pointis. I'm guessing that's a river. What do we got up ahead, huh? Interesting. Okay. And the town of Contes Plage. You know, I really should be like putting more like editing in some pictures of what these places look like, because I've been looking them up in between just to kind of see, you know, in real life what I'm flying for, and it's freaking awesome looking. If I could do the trip in real life, I'd probably do it. So we're just gonna cruise right along the coastline. I'm guessing the further south we go, the closer we'll get to the Alps here. So this is Beer and Bush Trips, where I drink beer and fly airplanes and show you the south of France. Fly airplanes poorly. That's attempt to fly airplanes. I think we talked last time about why I probably shouldn't be a pilot. There's good reasons. So as I try to get back down to 2,000 feet here, I'm gonna start talking about the beer. I talked about it a little bit last night. We got a pack of this Dogfish Head, a Citrus Squall. It's a ale, citrus ale kind of thing, double golden ale. Holy crap, 8% alcohol. All right. You know, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like a sour triple. Shoot, that's probably what it is. It's probably just a sour ale. I don't know what draws me to like the fruit kind of tart, bitter kind of things. If I drink wine, that's what I tend to go for too, or drier wines. I don't know. So yeah, drinking Dogfish Head. And the dog is still not here. I don't know where the damn dog is. Just why hiding? And so like I mentioned on the first leg, I've had a few pets since I've lived here. We had like 2 ferrets. That was an adventure. Kind of like this bush trip. And now we have a dog. It's kind of funny how we ended up with this dog. Kind of an ugly dog. I mean, she's great. She's a nice dog, but this is kind of how I ended up with an ugly dog. So she's this little like 12-pound Yorkie Shih Tzu mix, like a designer breed. They're called Shorties, right? Not the dog I would go for, but we were fostering her from a friend, childhood friend of my partner. She just couldn't care for the dog, right? She just had a kid, man. She had this relationship difficulty. Anyway, we took the dog in because we didn't want the dog to go to a shelter. And she's just a goofy dog, honestly. Like, she's the most adorable ever, but she's got this massive underbite, dude. So this is how I ended up with an ugly dog. So we fostered her for a little while, and like dogs do, she just kind of like weaseled. She's kind of weaseled her way into my heart. I started to feel bad for her. I felt like the other dogs in the neighborhood were kind of making fun of her because she is a little goofy looking. And I just like entered this kind of like this protective kind of feeling over her. Alright, let me pause this story. Alright, so right along the coastline south, eventually you'll come within view of an inland lake. Alright, so we're just going to cruise along the coastline for a little bit. And we're looking for an inland lake. Let's try to get back up to the... Boy, I am doing a poor job staying on course. But you know, with bush flying, that's just kind of how it goes. You're just kind of meandering, right? I have to say this is one of the easier to fly planes that I've been in so far, though. I think I realized what I did wrong last night, where I was like stalling but also floating the plane down the runway at the same time. I don't think I'm flaring enough. See, I've talked about it a few times. The last trip I completed was the Patagonia bush trip in the X-Cub. Got really comfortable with that plane and tail draggers. And I could be wrong, but I feel like in tail draggers you just don't have to flare quite as much, maybe? Unless you're going for like a, you know, like a 3-point landing. I usually went for like wheeled landings. And I just don't think we'll find out when I try to land tonight. But otherwise, this is like a really pleasant plane to fly. Really good visibility, nice wide open windows, not too much stuff to screw with. You don't have prop RPM, you don't have mixture, fuel injected engine, slower than the X-Cub, which is interesting. It's a pretty big plane. Diamond's kind of interesting. They like, I think they, so I don't know if for the DA40 NG if they engine, but there was a whole thing, I'll have to read more about this, maybe I'll talk about it tomorrow night. Where they were developing their own engine in, I feel like I'm getting slow here. Started development on a new aviation engine with another company. Company went into business. They took over production of the engine. I want to say the DA42 has engines made by Diamond. But, you know, they kind of make it, if they can make the whole thing, the engine, you know, the power plant, the airframe, everything, this is how you can make super efficient designs, right? If you control the whole process. I think that's kind of what Diamond's doing. Smart company, they make great planes. So we're cruising along the coast. So how did I end up with this dog? So we were fostering the dog for a few, me and my partner. And she was, you know, pleasant enough. She was nice to have around the house. It was nice having a dog. I grew up with dogs. This is nice to have one, even if it wasn't like my preferred thousand breed. But I could feel like I was getting a little bit close to her. And again, it wasn't the type of dog I was looking necessarily to get at any point in my life. So, you know, I didn't let her sleep in the bed in the beginning and stuff like that, things I feel bad for now. But she still found a way to, like, completely win me over. Like I said, I felt like I had to protect her, because she is this kind of goofy little thing. I felt like people would make fun of her, and I had to protect this innocent little dog. And, yeah, that's how I ended up with, like, a little 12-pound Shorkie. And now she pretty much follows my partner around the house everywhere. She has her own little mat underneath my my computer set up here, or she did. She had a little bath mat, and that's where she would sit and hang out. My partner's going out of town tomorrow, and she's got major separation anxiety, so we had to drug her. So she's on drugs right now. That's probably why she's not with me. She's having a great time on drugs on her own. She'll probably be less drugged tomorrow night. Adjust your heading and follow the coastline south. Eventually you'll come within view of an inland lake. Yeah, so where's that? There's our inland lake. Okay. Alright. See, this is half the fun with bush trips, right? You just start kind of finding things. Like, oh yeah, hey, that was in an outlaw. So I think I mistook all these dark clouds as rain clouds. I don't think they are. I think they're just dark clouds. But we're going to try to steer clear of them anyways. Continue south down the coast, and you will reach the seaside town of Vieux and Lac Marin, an inland body of water with a small island at its center. Alright, great. How are we doing on fuel? Yeah, we're barely burning anything. Let's take a peek outside. Nice white sand beach. Surface of water is like a mirror. I can't trim my airplane, apparently. There we go. Every time you hear that click, that's, yeah, I'm trying to get the trim right. I guess, so you want to push in, you want to hold the attitude of if you're trying to maintain wings level or climb or descend, and then you want to trim out the pressure until you can let the yoke go to center. But I don't know, it doesn't quite work for me. It still just likes to kind of oscillate between 10, 20, 40, 100 feet. Why do you think those the airspaces back there were restricted? Coming from the U.S., my first thought was like military installation or something along those lines. I don't know. Knowing a little bit about Europe, it's probably just like a noise abatement thing. Not that this plane makes much noise, but it's more a quality of living thing. It's kind of a funny difference, right? In Europe, it seems like we make laws, or they make laws to I don't know, better the quality of living for people. And in the West, in America, I'll just say in America, it seems like a lot of our laws go to just protecting and defending and freedom and shit. Quality of life is good. I would appreciate more laws for that. Anyways. Ale is good. It's not as sour as I expected it to be. Because I'm used to like sour triples and stuff. But this is not that. But it is good. I would recommend it. Yeah, sure. Citrus squall. Dogfish head. Some clouds up here. Right, looks like we're coming up on our next POI. There's our small inland lake. So I remember, see, the next thing we're looking for continues up on the coast. We would reach the seaside town. I'm sure there's a seaside town. Yeah, seaside town, why not? Water with a small island at its center. Alright, small body of water with an island at the center. I'm on the lookout. It's pretty much just a straight shot down the coast, isn't it? Why can't I pan? Oh well. Should have noted the time we took off. It's 10:18. I feel like we've been in the air for I don't know, 10 minutes maybe? 10, 15. It was probably 10 o'clock is when the sun is on. So there's a couple small bodies of water, but none of them with like, I haven't seen an island. That's what we're on the lookout for, huh? Oh, I do see I think that's a small body of water up there. That might be our next POI. Ominous looking clouds, man. These nice little communities. That's another big difference I've noticed. I fly near some of the airports near me where I live in the US and the South. southeastern US, and everything's on a grid. The neighborhoods, the streets, the towns, they're all built around these grids, and it makes navigating things from the air really easy. But it does get kind of boring to look at. Here you have like these winding, kind of oddly shaped communities. Sure is interesting to see them from up there. Yeah, that's another thing that gets me. So in the POH, I think it said you could cruise like at 2400 RPM, but I'm hitting redline at 2300 on the tachometer. So I have a feeling the POH I've been reading is probably not for the NG. It's probably a different engine. I really should be reading about this plane if I'm talking about it. Alright, so there's our small little body of water with an island in the middle. A little oddly shaped island. Hey, what's that down there? Check out that little donut-shaped building. That's like, I don't know, do you think it is like an auditorium or a stadium? That would be kind of weird to have a stadium all the way out here, wouldn't it? It does look like a sports complex of some kind, though. I mean, there's I don't know, courts. Tennis courts next to it and stuff. Yeah, it might be a stadium. Might have to go and check that out online later. So this is cool. Check it out. There's like all these little... So it is just a small body of water with a very interestingly shaped island in the middle. And then there's this little waterway that feeds off of it. A couple of little bridges and stuff going out to these small communities. I'm gonna guess these are like resorts, man. From what I was reading, these are a lot of like seaside resort towns. You have people coming here to vacation and holiday and stuff. So yeah, look at the size of that giant pool down there. All right. So that was our inland body of water with a small island at its center. Farther south along the coast, you will pass 3 more inland lakes to the east. On your path towards marina and sandy beaches of Cap Breton. Alright, there's a few bodies of water around here. I was watching a Trent Palmer video that came out recently. It was a buddy of his who had, oh god, crashed a bush plane again. Doesn't sound like it was the first time. A Kit Fox, it sounds like. And I saw that and realized that was probably yet another reason why I would never do this in real life. I don't think I'm equipped for it. I don't think the risk profile is something that I would be cool with. It does look beautiful, but you gotta pick and choose what you're gonna do in life. I did, so speaking of Trent Palmer, I did buy the Freedom Fox add-on aircraft, his Kit Fox basically, from Parallel 42 last week. And I found some really cool little airports that I was able to get in and out of with that. So I'm trying to think up of some content to record. I hate that word, content. I'm trying to think of some cool flights that I can just sort of talk through and narrate and fly the Freedom Fox through it, right? Because that plane is a freaking dream to fly in Flight Simulator. So I had two ideas. I was thinking I might either modify one of the existing bush trips, because you can go into the config files in Microsoft Flight Simulator and change out the aircraft and change all kinds of parameters. It'll still register as a bush flight, but you're changing all the parameters on it, so you kind of hack together your own little... Ooh, I see mountains. So you kind of, modify and make your own little bush flight. Or I might just go on... There's a cool website, World Tours. Basically is a bunch of Microsoft Flight Simulator flight plans, like scenic tours just like this. And you can, of course, pick any plane. So I think I'm going to start looking around for some cool ideas, some cool places to fly the Freedom Hawk. So yeah, we're finally coming up on some real mountains here. I mean, this was nice in all these little seaside towns and resorts and stuff, but I'm ready to get into the mountains. I don't know about you. But yeah, I want to get over some breathtaking scenery, some valleys, meandering rivers and canyons and stuff. I picked this bush trip specifically because I was expecting Alps, I was expecting large mountains, and so far we've done almost an hour and a half, and this is the first time I'm seeing a mountain. Alright, so we've passed at least 3 bodies of water to the famous marina. That's a pretty darn cool marina. I can see why it's famous. Yeah, so check it out. You got this little inlet straight out to the ocean from there. And yeah, this marina just flows through this whole neighborhood. This is pretty darn cool, man. There's a facility right there, huh? Alright. From the river's opening, fly directly south over a grove of pine trees and the commune of Anglet toward the Pace Basque Airport. Continue past the airfield until you reach the A63 motorway. Hey, we remember the A63. That was our very first POI on this trip. We were following the A63 out to the ocean, right? So it sounds like we're going to meet back up with it again here. We're going to be landing in LF. Let's see, Barrett's Pace Basque Airport. So we're getting close. Let's head out over the water a little bit here. So if I had to land right now, this is almost too easy. Yeah, if I had to put it down, RIP the beachgoers, but I would land on the beach if I had to. That's exactly what I would do. Got a nice clear stretch of beach, and that's right where I'd put this sucker down right now if I had to. Alright, so while we're thinking about the plane, let's turn on the fuel transfer. It's probably been about 30 minutes, yeah, 28 minutes after the hour. Keep an eye on that. Head inland a little bit because I don't want to descend through these clouds and try to deal with all that, so we're just going to go around them. Yeah, look at the mountain range coming up on it, guys. So I think this is that the A63? That's gotta be the A63 up there. So this is probably going to be the last leg of our trip over a lot of flat land. Thinking hopefully the flag will be plunging into the mountains, hopefully tomorrow night. Dude, that fuel transfer pump does a pretty good job, man. That little needle's moving pretty quickly. So what I'm looking at down here, see the fuel quantity gallon there's a little left needle and a right needle. So the right needle's catching up to the left needle. And once they're about even again, I'm going to flip the pump back off, and we'll start feeding on the main tank. Or we'll continue feeding on the main tank, rather. Alright. So it looks like next POI will be like the final the runway. I mean, hopefully we don't hit the runway. I've been pretty close a few times now, but hopefully we can just land nicely this time. I've been working on it. Dude, 8% alcohol on this. I've been sipping slowly. Alright. Let's cut around the clouds. Get back on track here. I don't have to put it down right now. Well, if I put it down right now, it would be fun to land on that racetrack, but I'd probably just head back for the beach. That's where I'd put it down if I had to. Drop a comment if you want to see me like simulate a failure at some point in the middle of this trip and try to get myself in and out of a precarious situation. Now, granted, this whole trip has been pretty precarious given the navigation errors and almost falling out of the sky over the runway last time, but more precarious than that, you know. See what kind of trouble we can get ourselves into. Back on track. It's final point of interest here. Alright. Fuel pump's done its job. Torque pump comes off. I'm gonna say runway in sight, just to our left here. Wind has been out of 270, so we're probably going to want to come in with our back to the ocean. Let's start getting lined up and prepare for it. I'm trying to get down to 1,000 feet. It's a huge, sprawling town. We're at Space Basque Airport. I feel like I've seen enough simplified towns. I'm ready to go into those freaking mountains, man. But this is a pretty nice one. So I'm gonna follow the coastline out, and then we'll just start lining up at the runway from there. I'm gonna try to get down to about 1,000 feet. We've got a super long runway over here, so we're probably fine. Keep an eye on that airspeed. Everything feels slow in this plane, but when you're really slow, you don't even notice how much slower than you usually are, and then when the stall horn comes on. I would not want to try to land on this water right now. It is... God, it's like looking into a mirror. It's almost hard to tell sometimes where the clouds end and where the water begins, you know what I mean? Alright, descending through 1,500 feet. We're still about 85 knots. So I think I'm just gonna go turn base, throw out flaps, and then just turn final. Oh, that looks like a nice bit of old architecture out there. See that cool tower? Church, cathedral, maybe? A couple of resorts down there. Put a tree loading in. Everything looks like a Dolly painting for a minute. Alright, we're almost at 1,000 feet. load up here. Alright, let's throw flaps. Let's turn our fuel pump on. Let's give her a little more throttle there. Okay. Alright, let's turn final. About 1,000 feet. Turn base, then turn final, I guess. That is a big cliff off to the ocean there. Wow. Alright. That's where we're heading tomorrow night. I bet that's where we're taking off into. Right into the mountains, man. It's a good thing this plane likes to climb, because I think we're going to be doing a lot of that tomorrow. So we're definitely not at sea level, if that's not obvious looking at this cliff. I'm going to guess probably 160 feet or so off the runway. So we're at about, I don't know, what, 700 feet coming in on fine. So let's bring down flaps again. Line her up. Let's watch the airspeed. And we are right on glide slope. How about that? No, now we're not. Now we're too low. Alright. Let's try to capture. Try to get back on glide slope again. Had it for a minute. I had 2 white lights for almost a second there. Alright. 2 white lights again. I think I want to be coming down at about 300-ish. About 5 degrees is what I generally want to go for. Yeah. This looks pretty good. And see, my gut tells me to slow down more, but I've been used to flying like these stall planes. And I think that's where I got in trouble last time. Final checks, everything looks good. We are right on path here. Got 2 white, 2 red. Let's bring down the throttle. And we're just gonna let it come down right on its own. Pull out the throttle the rest of the way. Okay, we're getting close to stall. Yeah, I'm about 260 feet. And flare. Okay. We're down. Can I find the center line? Alright. Alright. Biarritz Bay Basque Airport. Right on the bay. We got the mountains just off to the south there. We'll be heading for tomorrow night. So that concludes the seaside part of our trip. And that concludes leg 3. So why don't you join me tomorrow night for the next leg of beer and bush flip.